Chanukah Sameach, and welcome everyone. I am so excited to have you all joining us here tonight. And I know we have people joining us from all over the world, so leave a comment. Let us know where you are joining from. We are so excited to have you all here. We want you to take a minute, make sure you're ready, get your Chanukiah out, get your vegan latkes. We are going to get started in just a moment. Lauren, Andre, happy Hanukkah. Welcome, everyone. We're so excited to see all of you. Happy Hanukkah, Eileen. It's so great to be here with you tonight. Hanukkah Sameach. Happy Hanukkah to MZ. It's so nice to have people joining us here. Portland, Oregon. Oh, I see Los Angeles. Happy Hanukkah, Lawrence. Great to see you here. Rainy Seattle. Welcome, welcome everyone. I'm so happy that everyone is here and joining us tonight. We are going to get started in just a moment, but first I just want to give you a little more information about us. Jewish Veg is a national and global nonprofit that educates, inspires, and connects the Jewish community around plant-based living as an expression of our Jewish values. And we do that through events like this one, through speaking and teaching at synagogues and Jewish institutions all across North America, through our Lilad chapters, and through all of the work that we do. And we do that work because we know that when it comes to changing our food systems, when it comes to revolutionizing the ways that we see and interact with non-human animals, with each other, and with the earth, that change starts here, and it starts with all of us. Hanukkah is a celebration of light, of victory, of revolution. On Hanukkah, we participate in the miracle of light. And this Hanukkah today is also Giving Tuesday, an opportunity to spread the light further by ensuring the longevity of the Jewish plant-based movement for many, many years to come. So in the spirit of light and miracles, please consider taking a moment and making a donation at veganga.org. And to all of our sponsors for tonight's event, thank you so, so much for your support and for your belief in the work that we do. We could not be doing this without you. We are so, so grateful to you and for the change that we make together. So I'm so excited to get to kick off our Hanukkah celebration with a word from Rabbi Sandra Lawson and a teaching on the story of Hanukkah. Rabbi Sandra was ordained by the Reconstructionist Rabbinical College and is one of the first African-American queer female rabbis. She is the current director of racial diversity, equity, and inclusion at Reconstructing Judaism, the leading organization of the Reconstructionist movement. Here is Rabbi Sandra.
Hi. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here and to spend some time with you all. My name is Rabbi Sandra Lawson. The story of Hanukkah, this holiday of Hanukkah, is a holiday and it's a story about how light can push away darkness. And it's a story of how when life appears too dark, it just takes one candle. And then we light another candle and poof, we have pushed the darkness away. Also this week, we read from the Torah portion Miketz. The Torah portion Miketz always falls during the holiday of Hanukkah. And in this Torah reading, we learn that Pharaoh has dreams. And he has dreams about 7 healthy cows and 7 skinny cows. And then the 7 skinny cows swallow the 7 healthy cows. And no one remembers that these cows were ever there. Joseph interprets these dreams for Pharaoh and understands that rough times are ahead. And he understands that after 7 years of plenty, Egypt will suffer 7 years of hardship and famine. And during the hard years, no one will ever remember the good years, and despair will take over. As this secular year winds down and we think about all the stresses in our lives, all the stresses of this past year, all the stresses of these past almost 2 years with COVID and everything that we've had to deal with this past year, we need messages that the future will be brighter and that brighter days are ahead. As I said a moment ago, the story of Hanukkah is a story about how light pushes away darkness, and it's a story of how when life appears too dark, it just takes one candle, then we light another candle, and magically we push away darkness. During Hanukkah, we light our candles and then we place them in the window for the whole world to see. This light is a symbol of a joyous future, because we know that as we move through these days that get colder and darker, we know that warmer and longer days are ahead. Better times are ahead. This light is also a symbol of faith and hope. And just like in Pharaoh's dream, it is easy when it is dark to forget about the light. Just like it's easier when we are suffering to forget about the good days and the good times, or to even imagine that good times are ahead. It's so easy for us to give up when things look bad or when things go wrong. Maybe this is why Jews and our Christian brothers, sisters, and siblings light their holiday lights during the darkest and coldest nights of the year. Before I close, I want to tell you a different story about Hanukkah, one that comes from the Talmud. In the Talmud, the house of Hillel and the house of Shammai are having an argument, a disagreement about the proper way to light the Hanukkah candles. Shammai opined that the 8 candles should be lit on the first night, 7 on the second night, and so on down to the last night. And he believed this because the miracle was greatest on the first day. Contrary, Hillel argued in favor of starting with 1 candle and lighting an additional one every night up to 8 on the 8th night. And he believed this because the miracle grew in greatness each day. In the democratic spirit of the Talmud, the question was voted on by their colleagues, and Hillel's opinion prevailed, thereby establishing our current practice of lighting from 1 to 8. And the reasons that the rabbis adopted Hillel's argument is that each night we should add a light. We should not take it away. Thus, each night we raise up holiness. We raise up the holiness in our world. We do not lower it. So going back to this week's Torah portion, we learned at the beginning that Joseph is in prison. He's in prison for a crime that he never committed. And he's basically been forgotten about. Then one day he's pulled from prison. He interprets Pharaoh's dream. He's then given the responsibility for gathering food for Egypt during the days of plenty to feed people during the time of famine, making him, of course, the second most powerful man in Egypt, and I'd probably argue the most powerful man in Egypt. But I want to highlight this because during this time of year, it is easy for us to forget about those who are suffering. It's easy for us to forget about those who have food insecurity. And so I ask that you remember those who may be in need of food, are those who may be suffering from food insecurity. And remember that Hanukkah is about lighting candles. Hanukkah is about bringing in more light. We light little candles, little flames of light to push away darkness. Hanukkah is so important at this time to bring light and joy into the world. And Judaism at its best is about adding holiness and never subtracting it. And like the rabbis of the Talmud, I agree, we must have more light, more joy, more holiness every night. More joy, more holiness into the world every night, not less. Chag Sameach, my friends. Thank you for letting me spend this time with you. Have a great evening.
Thank you so much, Rabbi Sandra, for your words and for your message and for adding to all of our holiness here tonight. So for those of you who are not on the East Coast where the sun set many, many hours ago, get your Chanukiot out. Like the rabbis of the Talmud decided, since it's the third night, we light 3 candles tonight. So get your candles out, get your Chanukiah out, and we will light candles together.
Waiting for the lighting to take place.
Laurent, I'm not gonna sing. I'm gonna have you.
You don't want me to sing.
You got this.
Everybody in the attending should be singing. I think that's the way we want to do this.
You got this. All right, everybody, sing on your own at home.
Here we
Join
go.
us. All right.
Second line. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Beautiful. Thank you, Laurent. I would have joined you. We would have joined you, but the latency would have made it so strange. You were great. Thank you so much. Happy Hanukkah, everybody.
Happy
From
Hanukkah.
us on the West Coast where the sun just went down.
Thank you so much. It is now my honor to get to introduce all of our speakers for tonight. We just heard Laurent Levy on the piano. Laurent is a classical pianist and accompanist for the Lashir Chorale, accompanist to the late renowned cantor David Wisnia, Zichrono Livracha, and creator and host of the Other Animals podcast found at theotheranimals.com. Lighting the candles with Sabrina and their puppy friend is Brandon Blake, the Humane Education Coordinator at Posado's Safe Haven Animal Sanctuary in Sultan, Washington. He works on youth engagement with classrooms and leads public tours to help connect kids with farmed animals, help children see animals as their friends. Debbie from Roots Metals is an artist, writer, and jeweler whose new book, The Witches of Eskazu and Other Jewish Fairy Tales, is available now on Amazon, and we are so fortunate to be hearing one of her original fairy tales tonight. You can find Debbie's incredible work at rootsmetals.com. And Amalia Zetlin, who plays for the El Paso Symphony and co-founded a professional chamber orchestra, Camerata del Sol, is with us tonight. Her performance will also feature Julio Campos on guitar, and you can find more of their music, and trust me, you will want to, on their YouTube channel, which we will link in the comments. So welcome, everyone. I'm so glad that you have joined us here tonight. Just as we've all come together tonight, Hanukkah is a holiday and a time that brings people together and inspires many memories for many, many years to come. So I want to ask you all, and to everyone who's watching us on Facebook and YouTube, answer this as well. Put your comment answer in the comments. What is your favorite Hanukkah memory? And someone's got to be brave and go first.
I'll go. So every year on Hanukkah, I get together with my family and we have really interesting conversations about how to maintain a cultural identity in a pluralistic society. The Hanukkah story was all about resisting assimilation, but it's also a blessing to live in a pluralistic society. And so finding that balance is something that really fascinates me. And every year it leads to really awesome discussions in my family.
Oh, that's so cool.
I think I'll go next. Just go in order. Um, so I think for me, especially right now with COVID and everything, Hanukkah just makes me think of my family who I miss a lot. I haven't seen them in a long time, and yeah, it just reminds me of them. So I would say it's more than one memory, but it's like one big memory.
I would say, I know the question is supposed to make you think about things in childhood, but I found that my best Hanukkah memories were later in adulthood when I had kids of my own, and just the ability to watch them and to know that I was passing down what was given to me, and to see them light up, and just to share that and know that I was the next link in the chain, next chain in the link, however that goes. But that was, I always find that very satisfying and gratifying.
Right on. I definitely echo that sentiment of being with family and being able to do things together. My mom is watching tonight. Hi, Ma. And my favorite memories involve my ma being with other family friends whose Bubby and Zadie survived the Shoah, and they made latkes from scratch, including blood from their knuckles from the graters. And they made the best latkes. My family, Zadie, she was really something else. Or sorry, Bubby, she was really something else. And so were Zadie, and they were Shoah survivors. So for me as a kid to know that and to learn that history and be able to share Hanukkah with actual people that I was so close to share that with them, and they survived it. It was just something that I'll always remember and cherish, that my family got to share that with their family, and they were with us. It was very special.
That's so beautiful. Thanks for sharing that.
Thank you.
I have one other thing that popped into my brain just now, which is that every year we do like dreidel competitions, but not like the traditional way of playing dreidel. We try to find the dreidel that can spin the longest. So for a while, the record was like 1 minute and 2 seconds, and it was these metal dreidels from Israel. But this year we found the most aerodynamic dreidel ever, and the record now is 2 minutes and 46 seconds of nonstop spinning, which is like absurd. So, but it's very fun. It's very fun. Keep your eyes out for aerodynamic dreidels.
Holy cow! Well, you said one
right?
spin and it lasted for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, but it's not like shaped like a traditional dreidel. This one in particular, it's like wider. So, and like it's more aerodynamic. So that's why it can spin for longer. But it was still really cool.
Awesome. So it appears as though our host is having some technical issues here. So we're gonna keep going here. I think we have some storytelling, right, from Brandon? Is that what we're? Oh, Sarah is back with us. All right.
Thank you for bearing with me with my technical difficulties over here. I unfortunately missed everybody's answers, so you have to start over from the beginning.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So we are going to move to our beautiful music from Amalia at this point. So Amalia, would you like to introduce your piece?
Sure. Yeah. So there's going to be 2 pieces this evening, and the first one is Hanukkah O Hanukkah, which is a classic. And lately, if there's any other like violinists or guitarists in this huge stream, I've been listening to a lot of Django Reinhardt and Stefan Grappelli. And so this is kind of in the style of those guys. And I hope that you like it. It's me and my musical and romantic partner, Julio Campos, and we're just so excited to be sharing it with you guys.
incredible. That was really, really awesome. Wow. I hope everybody enjoyed that as much as I did. I got a text from my wife upstairs that said the dog was going crazy when the violin came in. So you even got a dog excited tonight. So there you go. Fabio was excited. Well, friends, my name is Brandon, and I am an educator who works at an animal sanctuary called Pasado Safe Haven. And I am so excited that I get to help connect kids and grown-ups with animals, their stories, their backgrounds, and a little bit more about them to help us open our circles of compassion to them, to include them. So with that said, I've got a couple of scratching cats back there, but I want to introduce you to my turkey friends and talk tonight about dedication. So with that said, let's watch a little video with my turkey friends at the sanctuary. I am here at Pasado Safe Haven where I work. This is my buddy Ophelia Turkey, who is one of my turkey friends here at the sanctuary, who apparently only wants to eat my bracelets and not these yummy strawberries that they can eat in a little bit. But we've got Ophelia, Stella, Tallulah, Tally, and Tegan back there. And all of my friends were rescued from situations where they were not being treated kindly. Now, we are celebrating Hanukkah. What does Hanukkah have to do with turkeys, right? You might be asking. Well, I want to say Hanukkah is all about dedication. And some of us may have not even known that the word Hanukkah means dedication. And so when I think about that word dedication, I think about, what do I dedicate my life to? What do I want to dedicate my life's purpose to? And for me, the answer to that is kindness and compassion. I want to dedicate my life to compassion and kindness, so people like Ophelia here, who might be cold in this weather, knows that she's got a nice dry place at night. So her friend Tallulah knows that people have dedicated their lives to helping her out. My journey, my plant-based journey, actually started right here in this turkey yard. Before Ophelia was even here, there was my best friend Bowie and Ziggy turkeys who lived right here in this yard. And when I met them, they fundamentally changed my life. Like Ophelia here, they showed me that they were individuals and that they were kind and they were friendly and they wanted to be curious about me and what I was doing here with them. And when I saw Bowie and Ziggy and I saw them eye to eye, I saw that we were exactly the same. Look at Ophelia right now. Look at the way she's just so curious about what's going on and what we are doing. But when I saw Ziggy and Bowie turkeys, I connected right away. And I changed my whole life because of that connection that I now had with those turkeys. And I thought, if I'm going to share compassion and empathy, and I'm going to try to make the world a kinder place, I want to do so and include all of my animal friends: turkey, human, cats, goats, sheep, lambs, everybody. So it's really, really, really important for us to care about each other, isn't it? And it's really important for me to care about my friend Ophelia, who I know she's feeling cold right now in this weather. So as we think about Hanukkah and what we want to dedicate ourselves to, think about, what do you want to dedicate yourself to? What drives you? What makes you happy? What is your purpose? What is something that you know you can contribute to the world and help make this world a better place? How can you help Tikkun Olam? How can you help repair the world? Well, one of the ways that I know that I can do it is by eating more plants, leaving turkeys off of my plate, being friends with them, working at an animal sanctuary. But you don't have to work at an animal sanctuary or be best friends with a bunch of turkeys to not want to harm them. You don't have to work at an animal sanctuary to dedicate your life to something that helps animals as well. So this Hanukkah, think about what you love, what you believe in, what you want to dedicate yourself to. Whether it's a turkey like my friend Ophelia, or Ziggy, my good buddy who's no longer with me. He was great. He would hop up on my back. He'd be on my lap. I'd play him music. I miss him very much. So find that thing that you love. Find that thing that you want to dedicate yourself to. And this Hanukkah, make that dedication something that inspires you, your heart, and the world around you. So on behalf of all my turkey friends here at Posado Safe Haven and my friends at Jewish Veg, we will say goodbye for now. Bye, friends. Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much, everybody. On the turkeys, on the kitties. I got cats over there. Oh, there they are back there. Well, listen, everybody, I'm so glad we could share a little bit of that with the turkeys. I always love talking about my turkey friends, but you know what? One of the things I love doing and talking with kids is talking about mindfulness and then bringing ourselves back to the center so that you can think about that dedication, what you want to dedicate yourself to. And we're going to pass it to Laurent, who's going to give us a musical passage. So thanks, everybody.
Hey, thanks, Brandon. Boy, you talk about the tough acts to follow here. Well, I'll try. So I'm going to play a little piece here. It's called Ocho Candelicas. It's from the Sephardic tradition. I imagine most of the people who are hearing us tonight are of Ashkenazic descent. That's most of us. We came from that German tradition, and but the Ashkenazic descent has a language that developed in Europe called Yiddish. Most of us are probably familiar with it, or we talk about boobies and zaydis, and we all heard shlemiels and shlemazels all our life and all that. Well, from the Sephardic tradition, the comparable language to Yiddish was Ladino. And Ladino has a Spanish and a Portuguese kind of a sound and a feel to it. So this piece I'm going to play, Ocho Candelicos, is a Ladino song. It's from the Sephardic tradition. And I'm going to try and capture that sound of the flamenco and the Spanish, and maybe even sort of get that flavor. I don't know if I'll succeed or not, because I'm not singing, but I hope you can kind of imagine the strumming flamenco type guitar sound. So Ocho Candelicas. And now, back to Sarah.
Thank you so much, Laurent. Well, I am having a great time, so I hope everyone else is too. And I'm especially excited about what we're doing next, which is talking about food, because we all know that the most important part is the food. So if we can get everyone back here with us. And I definitely want to hear from everyone who is watching as well. Let's talk about our favorite vegan Hanukkah food, because that's the most important conversation we could possibly have tonight. Oh, am I starting? Is that what that was? I'm starting with sufganiyot because we all know I've got the sweet tooth. So vegan sufganiyot are amazing and delicious, and everyone should try them and check out the recipe at jewishveg.org.
Got to be the vegan latkes. That's a slam dunk. And it's easy, too. Lots of onions.
Onions.
For me, it's sufganiyot as well. Nothing beats that.
Right?
So good, so sweet.
That's all you need in life.
Yeah, but then the food coma comes after.
Yeah. Brandon and Molly, what about you?
I would say sufganiyot as well. I've never made vegan sufganiyot before though, so I'm really interested to check out the recipe on the website and try it. I had the privilege of living in Jerusalem for one Hanukkah, and just like the sufganiyot variety there is incredible. So ever since then, I've been a huge fan.
Well, then I'm going to have to keep the Sufgan train going. Definitely agree with Sufgan. How do you not love jelly donuts? And if you don't love jelly donuts, I want to know you. I want to know your secret because I always eat too many. But I want to share a very funny Hanukkah memory that just happened. And I know my mom is out there watching in Florida and I'm in Washington on the West Coast. So Ma, listen to this, and everybody else. So, my wife, Sabrina, who's watching upstairs, she gets a text from my ma. Hey, Sabrina, I want to make latkes and I want to try, your vegan latke recipe. It's so good. Can you send me the recipe, please? And Sabrina says to me, your mom knows that my amazing latke recipe is her latke recipe that I just veganized. So, Ma, if you want a good latke recipe, open up your little Rolodex of recipes and swap out the egg for flax or any number of egg substitutes, and you can have the most delicious vegan latkes this year. I thought that was a great story. So thanks, Ma. Sarah, back to you.
Well, I think I'm actually surprised we haven't gotten the question yet. I'm waiting for it of what the best egg replacer is for latkes. So, thoughts? I mean,
Flax
here we
egg.
are.
Flax egg.
Flax egg, yeah.
I've tried binding latkes with oat flour before outside the binder, and it works pretty well. So you'll have that as an option as well.
Oh, that's a great one.
I've never tried to make them, but I usually go with flax eggs as well in almost any recipe. So I'm assuming it'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm seeing Eliana's question about applesauce or tofuri sour cream. Applesauce all the way. Other thoughts on that? It should be applesauce though.
I'm laughing because I follow Debbie on social media, and latke toppings have been a huge controversy lately.
I'm really sorry, but I'm gonna go with ketchup.
No,
That's a shanda.
Okay, it's just a matter of math. Potatoes go with ketchup. Latkes are made of potatoes. Ergo, ketchup goes on latkes.
I think
I'm
it's
sorry.
out.
Cancel.
It's
No.
I don't mind
Yeah,
ketchup with latkes.
zucchini latkes, awesome. Yeah, we did do that in New York City. Those are really great. Oh, Hillary's saying that she doesn't use any vegan egg replacer and they just hold together. I think Laurent, your wife makes amazing latkes. What does she use?
I should know.
You should know.
I allow her to surprise me. I'm not sure what she uses for the binding. No, yes, I am. It's the what works is the Just Egg. The Just Egg.
Oh, okay.
Makes a really good substitute and it holds it together. It has a nice flavor.
Yeah, and for those that don't know, Just Egg is made from mung beans. In fact, it's been an egg substitute and an egg replacer in China for 3,000 years. So, and it's really cool because it's neutral in flavor. And when we think about using egg for baking, we're not looking for the egg flavor. We are using eggs as a binder. So there are so many great plant-based binders that you can replace eggs for. And we're going to be making some latkes and trying that out. So really excited about it.
That's so awesome.
That's so cool.
Oh, Valerie, sweet potato and carrot latkes with cinnamon. Brandon knows I'm all about the cinnamon.
Yes, you are.
That sounds really good. Yeah, the flax. So flax eggs, for anyone who doesn't know, the way that you make them is you take ground flaxseed and you let it sit in water for, a couple minutes, and then that kind of gels, and you use that as a replacer. But I really want to try those sweet potato cinnamon latkes. That sounds right up my alley. Oh, and gluten-free sweet potato and quinoa latkes. Now, the quinoa also works as a binder. A lot of sweet potato. Jody, let us know if you put cinnamon on yours.
See,
Yeah,
that
definitely.
that flies, but my ketchup doesn't.
Yeah.
That's like valid. I feel like a cinnamon latke is kind of like a cinnamon raisin bagel. Like it's a little bit like fringe, but like I'll give
I
it a
feel
try.
like you're
I'll try
pushing
anything.
it a little bit.
If you put cinnamon on anything, it's immediately better.
I have some midrash for the moment that this discussion is making me think of. And I'll pull it back to the plant base of this whole idea of how do we celebrate the holiday and have it be plant centric and plant powered, and how do we take traditions of things that we've always done and change them and update them in a way that fit our modern current ethics at the moment. And it's interesting because we know that as Jews, we have so much resistance towards changing things that we've always done a very specific way, right? Like we all grew up singing songs certain ways, and you eat things with certain things and not with ketchup, right? Sorry, but that's okay. I accept you and your ketchup latke loving self as you are. But with that said, it's like one of those funny little moments that reminds us that we are very resistant to change, but we are also so open to hearing new ideas, which can be kind of conflicting. So I just thought that was really interesting, and it kind of speaks to how we operate as a people. I thought that was a fun moment.
That was so beautiful, Brandon. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Nice summary.
All right, so I guess at this time, we will be blessed once again with some beautiful music from Amalia. So Amalia, will let you introduce your piece and remove the rest of us from the stream.
Cool. So yeah, the next piece is Hevenu Shalom Aleichem. It's not specific to Hanukkah, but you've all heard the song before. It basically just means we come to you in peace. And I feel like it connects to the theme of a lot of our holidays, but also to veganism as a whole, as a movement, which is a movement that promotes peace to animals and to each other. So yeah, hopefully you like it.
That was amazing. Is it my turn?
It
Okay.
is. So, Debbie, we're so excited to hear from you, your original fairy tale.
Thank you. So I guess I'm gonna do a little introduction on my book in general and the specific fairy tale that I'm gonna read. So this book came out of a bigger project on Jewish fairy tales. It was a big multimedia project that I did that included artwork, jewelry, because I'm a jeweler, and even a short film, which you can find on my website. But this was definitely the biggest part of the project. I'm looking at it the wrong way. It is a collection of 7 short fairy tales, Jewish fairy tales, and it's not really the stuff you would hear, the regular like Yiddish folk tales that most people are familiar with, if they're familiar with anything. I've got stuff from every corner of the diaspora. I've got stuff that was passed down to me by my family, and then I've got stuff from that I collected, I guess, in my travels. But the story that I'm going to read tonight is the last story, and it's called Creatures of the Forest. So I do want to give you a little background info on it. Basically, when I was a little kid, I'm talking like 5 years old, maybe 7, I don't know. We would go to my grandpa's house every Friday for Shabbat dinner, and he would sit us around him and start telling us these very magical stories about his animal friends in the forest. And it wasn't until I was older that I learned that my grandpa had actually survived the Holocaust by hiding in the forest. So this is really where the idea for this story came from. So, without further ado, this is Creatures of the Forest. Also, I want to add, my dog has a knack for barking at the worst time, so I'm really sorry if that happens. Usually my husband would deal with him, but he's really sick, so if my dog starts barking, I'm sorry, and hopefully my husband wakes up. All right, Creatures of the Forest. In the time of strife and war, there was a little Jewish boy who escaped the foot soldiers and ran deep into the belly of the haunted forest. Blinded by the darkness, the boy depended on his listening to give him direction. Where he had once heard shouting and gunfire, the boy now overheard the cricking of the crickets and the hooting of the owls. For many days, or was it weeks, or even months, the boy wandered the forest aimlessly, always unsure of where he could rest his head. Over time, with no water to drink and no food to eat, he weakened considerably until he was nothing more than a bag of skin and bones. The days were dark in the haunted forest. The nights were even darker. With the curse of winter fast approaching, the boy knew that unless something changed, he would perish in no time. One day, the boy realized that he had become so fragile that he could no longer run. Devastated, he collapsed onto the ground and wept, where the moss cradled him like a pillow. He could only pray that God would deliver him to death. It was then that the boy felt an itch on the tip of his nose. On instinct, he tried to brush it off. Ouch, a voice yelped. Startled, the boy asked, "Who's there?" He tried to look around, but as usual, darkness was all he could see. "Where are you coming from?" "Well, I am on your nose, silly," the voice exclaimed. "On my nose?" The boy tried to look down at it, but his eyes crossed and made him dizzy. "Yes, on your nose." "Where are you?" the boy asked. "Who are you?" "Why, Cree-Cree the cricket, of course," the creature said. "Cree-Cree the cricket?" the boy asked. "And what are you doing, hopping about on my nose?" "Well, I have been tasked with keeping you awake." "Who has given you such a task?" Cree-Cree the cricket would not say. "Well, I am awake. Would you mind hopping off my nose?" the boy asked. "Certainly," Cree-Cree said, bopping all over the boy's face. "Anyway, it is time to get into business." "What sort of business?" the boy asked, rather confused. "The business of the forest," said another voice, one that the boy did not recognize. "And who are you?" the boy said. Each answer seemed to beget even more questions. "I am Boo-hoo-hoo, the owl." A talking owl and cricket, the boy thought. How interesting. So perplexed was he that he forgot all about his exhaustion. Instead, he asked more and more questions, and before he knew it, they were all well acquainted. Having become fast friends, Cree-Cree the cricket and Boo-hoo-hoo the owl taught the boy all they knew about life in the haunted forest. See, once you learned to live in harmony with the pine trees and the animals, it was not so frightening after all. Cree-Cree the cricket and Boo-hoo-hoo the owl even taught the boy how to forage for wild berries, and soon enough he was well fed and satisfied. The three of them lived in this manner for many years, until the war was won and a stream of light illuminated the haunted forest. Startled, the boy blinked many times, adjusting his eyes to the new glare of the sun. It was only when he could see again that he noticed his eldest brother waving at him in the shadow of the trees. The boy said his goodbyes to his cricket and owl friends, but he never forgot them. He vowed to pass their story down to the next generation and the one after that, so that his children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and so on would know of the two magical creatures that had once saved his life with their friendship, wisdom, and compassion. And that is it.
Wow, thank you so much, Debbie. Anyone who
You're
knows
very
me,
welcome.
anyone who knows me knows that I love fairy tales, and I especially love Jewish fairy tales. And having you here reading that to us was such a treat. Thank you so much.
You're
So
welcome. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So I'm going to pass it to Laurent at this time.
Well, what a perfect segue for this little piece I want to do. Talk about the folk aspect of the story that we just heard, and the theme of what Rabbi Saunders said at the beginning. This little piece I want to do is a folk, right out of the folk tradition. It's a Peter, Paul, and Mary song. To three nice, talk about your Jewish names, Peter, Paul, and Mary, right? Well, they did a piece several years ago. It's called Light One Candle. It's very much in the folk tradition, and it with the emphasis on social justice, and the theme that you're not going to hear me singing, but I believe you're going to see words go by in the scroller in the chat. But the refrain is "Don't let the light go out." Don't let the light go out, and that's sort of what their interpretation. Peter Yarrow had actually wrote it, but that's kind of what tying it all together, I think. So here is Peter, Paul, and Mary, Light One Candle. Let the light go out.
Thank you so much, Laurent. Thank you so, so much to all of our incredible performers and speakers tonight. Laurent and Amalia, your beautiful, beautiful music. Brandon, sharing your turkey friends with us. Debbie, that amazing fairy tale. And Rabbi Sandra, those words of wisdom that you shared with us. We're so, so blessed to have you all here with us tonight. I want to thank our incredible sponsors for tonight. Again, we really could not do this without you. Your support and your belief in the work we do is what keeps us going. Thank you so much to everyone who has contributed to keeping this Jewish plant-based movement thriving. And thank you, thank you, thank you so much to everyone who has joined us here tonight to celebrate together the light and the miracle that we create together. If you haven't already, please consider making a donation at vegangt.org if you have been as moved and as inspired by this event as I have been. Thank you so much. Chag Hanukkah Sameach. Happy, happy Hanukkah.